like, I was reading one of my magazines this morning, and I don't talk about surfing too much. I'm kind of like, I'm stingy with my surfing, but in surfing, like one of the major things is style. What's your style, right? And I longboard, and I've always longboarded since I've been like a lot younger. So, there's to me that's a different style. That's almost like a dance, where if you see like shortboards who want to like hit the wave hard and do like cutbacks, longboards are about like doing like these like smooth turns and walking up and hanging your toes off the board and making everything look really easy, right? And like that's like something I think about in your practice, and I say to you all the time something simple like soften your face, right? When you think about like Nataraja and the dance, like he's not like, that shit is like, right? Like that shit is smooth, dude. Like there's style in that shit, right? And you want to think about that in your posture. Could you, let's just say in triangle, could you be like, you could. Does it work? Yeah, it works. But like there's just something, a deeper connection about when you're like, right? That's my style. You got to figure out what yours is. My style also is slow. As slow as my breath is. Slow as my breath is. Now, I practice breath holds. So of course my breath can get kind of long, right? But you have to work what your breath is, right? Ours will be different. Just like we're all the same, but we're all a little bit different, right? And that's supposed to be the idea. You got to find what your style is. You ready to play with it? So a little fun, something fun in our theme today. So here we go. Take a nice seat. Close the eyes. Even here, sit up with some style. So what does that mean? Well, take a breath. Feel that foundation that's underneath you, the outsides of the feet, the sit bones. Maybe lean back a little bit. Let the head and the throat slide back. Let the chin come down just a touch. Start to breathe and feel the ribs expanding in all directions, so front to back, top to bottom, side to side. Hold the space. Notice if something tried to change on you. One of the common things that's going to try to happen is the chin's going to try to fall forward. So keep sliding the throat back. Even here, like on the inhale, lift the arms, but on the exhale, bring the thumbs to touch, and then the pinkies, and the pointer fingers, and the ring fingers, and the middle fingers. We get that little bit of style as we represent the closing lotus. The flowers coming together, or the petals. Now we bring that breath to the space between our palms, and we say it travels down our heart. Right? Just think of like yoga and the style it has to it. What other exercises says shit like that? Oh, you breathe and it goes to the back of your heart, and then you bring your back of your heart out in front of everyone. Right? That's some deep shit. But that's what we do, right? That's our game. This is the game we come to play. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. So just in case you weren't sure, it would go, right? Thumbs, pinkies, pointer, ring, middle. And that's like the petals of the lotus. What would be the blooming lotus? Right? So you could work back and forth. All right, let's go child's pose. So toes are touching, knees are wide. Sit bones are rooting to the heels. Now just start to activate this child's pose a little bit. So claw the floor, hug the hands in a touch. Let the forearms begin lifting up. Let the inner biceps start to lift up. So we're activating some of these areas. Slide the forehead off the mat. So you're taking the back of your throat to the ceiling. And now you feel a little more like your chest is away from the mat a touch. And you're working your upper back between your shoulder blades, like from your head to your butt. So I call that like north to south. As compared to east to west would be like when we bring our shoulder blades to our spine, like in Cobra. And then as you keep lifting the forearms and you keep lifting the inner biceps, gently soften the chest down a little bit. And then TP the fingers on the right hand. Take the left hand underneath, a little twist here in your child's pose. Yep. Whatever your side one is. You could even make a little more space by TPing the fingers on that right hand. That'll lift the arm up off the floor a little bit. Inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle. When you're ready, swap side two. Light little twist. What I want you to try to feel here is that we're working this twist in that like middle to upper back. In child's pose, we're holding those sit bones to our heels, so we're keeping that lumbar nice and just neutral, and the twist is in the thoracic spine. Inhale, unwind. Soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Pointer fingers are straight forward or turned out a little bit. Fingers are spread. Toes are curled. Pull that belly to the spine. Pull the shutters close. See how I'm full right here? Like, that's too much, but like this isn't enough. So I got to find where that sweet spot is. Now notice how your chin wants to fall to the floor. Don't let it slide the throat towards the ceiling. Settle the upper back just a little bit. We don't want to collapse. We want to soften between our shoulder blades because it's a powerful pose. We want to soften anything. We want to hug in right here. And then with all that space, work the oscillating cat-cow. So inhale, you're going to take the hips up, back, and around. You could even look up that little bit. And as they come forward and under, you're going to look to your belly. So you'll take them up, back, and around. And then forward and under. Let's go 5 to side 1, and then we'll go 5 to side 2. So on these oscillating cat-cows, if it feels like it's tough to put the head into it as well, like the neck, just take that out and do the hips. I'm really shooting this with y'all to go for the lumbar spine. But it feels good throughout the entire, right, through your whole spine. And then when you're done, work your side 2. Nice and slow, linking breath to movement. So that means if the inhale's 2 seconds, how long it's going to take to come around, right? Exhale, how long it's going to take to go forward and under. But keep that rhythm with your breath. Now, this is my last one. So wherever you're at, when you're done with your 5, come to a neutral position. Take your time, work through your practice, right? Sometimes we'll be right linked up with each other. Sometimes we'll be a little ahead. Sometimes we'll be a little behind. That's just how our breath is working, right? That's our style in our practice. Now take a couple breaths. When you're ready, take the knees back. Come to puppy dog. So now we got a little bit more space to play with in the twist. So fire up the low body. So sweeping inner heels out, hugging shins in. Pulling heels to butt. Fire up the upper body. Hug the hands in, lift the forearms, lift the inner biceps. Fire the core, pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Now TP the fingers on the right hand, thread the left hand underneath with the palm up. So now you'll see you go a little bit deeper in the twist. You could even take the right elbow towards the sky, and you're really going to start to open up, and then you can twist under even deeper here. But let that twist be above the waist like we warmed up in the child's pose. So don't let that left hip pull under on you. Inhale, unwind. Place the hand down. When you're ready, TP the fingers, side 2. Try to bring the back of the shoulder to the floor, to the mat. Now this time, don't let that right hip go with you. So you want to keep pushing down into your right knee and building that hip up. And then the spine goes forward and down as it twists. One more breath. Inhale, unwind. Soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees. Find that all fours again. Even here, like we talk about style, try to spread your fingers evenly between each finger. Right? It's a little shit like that. That's where, like, knowing almost all of your practices, right? That's where your practice is. Your practice isn't like setting your feet facing straight forward, right? You got that part. Step back to plank. Step back, downward dog. It's about finding those little bits and pieces. First one, you could bend the knees. I mean, you could bend the knees on any downward dog, right? But the first one, let's all bend them, so soften them up a little bit. And then everything that we're going to do right now, we've already warmed up. So we're going to claw the floor. We're going to hug the hands in. We're going to lift the forearms. We're going to lift the inner biceps. Now, it's a little more challenging now because there's more weight that we're holding. Slide the head into throat back, because where the neck goes, the upper back's going too. So when we slide the throat back, you're going to feel there's work now between those shoulder blades north to south. Keep the core, belly and shutters. Keep the legs engaged, so pull your heels to your butt, really, to get those hamstrings to fire. And now pedal the heels a couple times. Reach the heel to the floor. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, side two. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, reach the opposite side down. Now, keep the knees tracking the second toes and keep them in line with the hip, because it's easy to let them kind of like do one of these where we start kind of tweaking things around. We're just trying to get everything running in its neutral position right now. If you started with the right, finish with the left. Come to neutral. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. So let's move a little dynamically here for a few. We'll get 5 of these. Work on your breath. Keep it going slow, though. Stay with your breath. You always hear me say we're not running or jogging, right? So your breath isn't really raised very high. Now on this one, as you come forward, this is your last one. Let the exhale lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. You could stay as low as you want. You could come up as high as you want, whatever your flavor is. But squeeze those shoulder blades back and take them down away from your ears. And then when you're ready, lower the chest, push up through plank, back to downward dog. Now, if it feels good to keep those knees bent in the downward dog, keep them bent. If it feels better to straighten your legs. One's not better than the other. It's just whatever you're looking for out of the pose. Keep pushing the hands down and forward. Take the chest back towards your toenails. And there's that big opener in the arms, side bodies, lats, tons of shit, right? A lot. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. 3 nice breaths. Remember, wherever you want to be. And it can change throughout the 3 breaths. Then after your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Fingertips are blocks. Front knee stacked up right up on top of the ankle. And we're going to track it with this second toe. So if your knee's falling in this way, we're going to widen it out. If it's blowing out the side, just hug it in a little bit. Pull the front heel back. Pull the back toes forward. Pull that pelvic floor up. Pull your belly in. Pull your shutters closed. Heart's reaching out in front. Throat's back. Gaze is looking in front of you, reaching up out of the crown of the head. Holding all that. Now reach out of the back heel, the front knee. Even breathe side to side. Let the exhale lower the knee. Inhale the arms in front, plug them in, take them up. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Maybe curl back a little bit here. Keep dragging that back knee forward. And you're going to feel that opener in the front of that thigh. Stay with the shutters and let the back of the heart lift up through the front of the chest. And then you can curl back into it a little bit. Inhale, come up. Take that left hand, go all the way across the body. Bring it to the outside of the thigh. Let the right hand meet Anjali Mudra. If you want to fire up a little bit, lift the back knee. Start to open up that right side of the chest towards the sky. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Lower the knee if it's up. Hands down. Lift the back knee. Downward dog. Right? So we go out the way we came in. Why? Just because we're getting a little style today. Reach the left leg straight back, step it through. Sometimes we do that anyway, right? We unwind. To me, I find something challenging in that, right? Going back out the way you came in. Because what's the common tendency, like when we release the pose? For all of us, right? Just like, we're done. No, we're not done. We got to get ourselves back out of this, right? So that's just another way to play. You could see, like, I have my fingers touching, but all the weight's in my legs, right? Any moment that I take my hands off the floor, nothing changes, right? Keep all the power in the legs. Now start drawing into the midline. So front to back is front heel back, back toes forward. Side to side is shins into the midline, even though they're not next to one another. And then top to bottom is you just keep pushing down, right? Like root to rise. Then the express to pose, out of the back heel, out of the front knee, the crown of the head, side to side. Then exhale, lower the back knee. Start dragging it forward as you come up. Plug the arms in. And then slowly take them up overhead. Because the slower you go, right, the more you're going to be able to hang on to. Now stay with the shutters. If you're not sure where the shutters are, right here. The bottom of my ribs want to blow open, shutters open. I got to close shutters. Now curl back into the pose. Keep going up and back, not back and down. So that's how you'll stay in that thoracic spine where these back bends should be. One more breath. And then come up halfway. Take that right hand, go across the body. Bring it to the outside of that left thigh. Let the left hand meet Anjali Mudra. Push the hands together. You're going to get all that energy to run up the arms into the shoulders and the chest and the upper back. You want to fire up, lift that back knee. Yeah, out of the back heel, out of the front knee, the crown of the head, even opening up that left side of the heart towards the sky. One more breath. And then inhale, unwind. Take those arms up. Lower that knee down if it's up. Hands down. Lift the back knee. Downward dog. Nice, y'all. Inhale, come forward to plank. Work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, big reach. Draw that belly and lengthen the sit bones down so this low back is safe. Reach up through your thumbs. Now curl back maybe a little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold, forward fold. Inhale, look forward, half fold, Uttanasana A. So weights balanced in the feet from your heel to your pinky toe mound to your big toe mound. That's the way to set your feet to build your arches. It doesn't make any sense to keep pushing your big toe mound down on the mat if your arches are collapsing, right? If I push my big toe mound down, all that happens is my arch keeps collapsing. Your heel, your calcaneus, is the size it is for a reason, right? Like that's what should be dissipating the weight. So root your heel down. The outer edge of the foot needs to root. Get the pinky toe mound to root. And then spread your toes open like to the midline. And then place that big toe mound down and watch the arches. Your feet are super ignited. Now look forward. And as the legs charge up, draw the fingers back towards your feet. It's going to feel like you pull your spine forward. Now go ahead and fold nice and deep. You know, you want to talk about like beyond just like the style. We're talking about the foundation here from your feet. If arches are collapsing on us, right? We need to make sure we're building them back up. They're just muscles that are starting to be deficient in their work. We just got to engage them. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a nice big reach. Draw the belly, lengthen those sit bones down, curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Triangle, right leg forward, left leg back. pretty good distance. So if you're not sure what your distance in triangle is, first off, we want our front heel in line with our back arch. So we're on a balance beam. And then our back toes are just slightly turned forward a little bit. Now take that left hip back. This is what I always say. This has to go this way. Yeah. Even if you lean forward, that's okay. Now take the arms up, right? Here's one of those moments. You're trying to get all that lift. So we make space in the front right side of the hip. And then when you're ready, hinge at the hip, bring the hand down to the block or the floor. Inside your foot will be a little more therapeutic, a little more accessible. Behind the foot will be a little more challenging. It's not like a right or wrong thing. It's wherever you want to play. But now this is a pose where we have to push the big toe mound down because the body's going to roll to the pinky toe side of the foot. So reroute that big toe mound if it's trying to pull up on you. Now keep opening up that right side body. Maybe start to look up the left arm. And now breathe. Soften your face, right? Be here in this moment. Now when you inhale, come up smooth. Big breath. Yeah. Bend into that lead knee. Think of how Nataraja would move, right? Then bring that elbow to the thigh. Then sweep that bicep up along the cheek. Yeah, nice, y'all. If you want to extend the pose, take that right hand down to the block or the floor. Go for it. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Start to rotate the top of the ribs back and the bottom of the ribs forward. One more breath. Push into that front foot. Inhale, come up tall. Straighten the legs. Step forward. Nice, y'all. Beautiful. Let's swap side too. There's another way, like if you take your hands out, your ankles are supposed to be underneath your wrists. But that's a little tough to see, right? If you bend into that lead knee, that'll really show you where you need to be. Now take that right hip back. Yep. Feel that space between all those ribs. And when you're ready, hinge the left side of the hip. Bring the hand down to the block or the floor, triangle. See, this wants to happen, the side crescent. You got to take your right ear to the ceiling. You want to engage your right side body, the top side, and you want to open up the bottom side. Play with the belly, play with the shutters. You're engaging them. Then you can start to rotate a little bit, open. Maybe you start to look up and you challenge the balance a little bit. Now breathe, soften your face. And then push into that front heel because that's where all the weight is. Come up. Yup, bend into the lead knee. Then the elbow to the thigh. Then the sweep of the arm. Nice, y'all. Then maybe extend the pose if that's where you want to go. Rotating is also extending a little bit. And then be here in the moment. Soften the face. Maybe look up here. Go back to the breath. One more here. And then push into that front heel. Come up slow. Then push the leg straight. Then step forward. Thumbs come to the center of the chest. Let the thumbs flick the heart out. Let your eyes close. Take a few breaths. Full breath in, complete breath out. Gently open the eyes, release the hands. Set the feet. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Right hand to the outside of the left shin or calf. Left hand to fingertips. Block. Hip. You can start to extend those twists a little further if you want to start to reach up to the sky. So you spin so the fingernails are to the outside of that left foot. And then you take that, the fingernails are on the outside of the left foot and then the arms reaching up towards the sky. Inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle. So here's a visual. I'm going to first take the twist, right? Then I would go this way. I'd turn my hand here so my fingernails are against my foot.
And then I would start to reach that right arm up to the sky. Now, be careful you're not leaning back too much. We want to have that equal weight in the heels, and then we want to get it into that pinky toe and big toe mound. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. One more breath. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog 2 more times. Flow through a little bit. Remember, what's your style here? You know, for me, I try to work slow because I try to work precise. Now, I know I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to shoot for it at least. Right? That's going to be my style. That's what I try to bring into my practice. What do you need to bring into yours? And then from here, exhale, lower the knees, hero's pose. So in hero's pose, the space between our knees will all be different, but the outsides of our shins will all be parallel with the sides of the mat. Unsickle your feet, so like turn them out a little bit, and you'll notice your butt will even get a little closer to the floor. Sometimes I even manually spread my toes, right? Again, that's my style because I'm looking for that precision. I want everything to work as optimal and efficient as possible. Now, I'm sure we all want that. Right? But that just happens to be where I like to move my body. Now, charge up. If your butt doesn't touch, no problem. Take the blanket or the block, put it underneath you, boost up a little bit. Now, this would be like inner body dull, right? And we got to get that inner body bright. So you're going to flick your toenails into the floor. You're going to hug your shins in. You're going to pull the pelvic floor up. You're going to feel the core ignite. Now, all of a sudden, you're floating. You can even feel it pull up out of your knees a little bit here. Then take your right hand behind you. Your left hand goes to the outside of your thigh. You're going to sit up tall, take the twist. Keep making the space by rooting down into the sit bones but breathing up. If you have any neck issues in your twist, just keep your head in line with your chest. If you want to start to peek over that right shoulder, you certainly can. And then inhale, come back to center, pause, take a breath, and then when you're ready, left hand goes behind, right hand to the outside of the thigh, root down so you rise up, we get tall, we make space, then we twist, we move into the space. Feel where these big movements are happening in that thoracic spine, that middle upper back. Your lumbar spine doesn't really twist. It's happy to just get some decompression. It's that thoracic spine, that middle upper back that does all these big movements. And then inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, come up, all fours. Just reach the right leg back, open up the knee a little bit here. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Then lower it down, swap side 2. Exhale, lower. Take your right leg over your left. Take your feet apart. Sit back between your heels. Reach down to your left sit bone. Pull it back and out. So 2 different actions. And then do the same thing to that right side. You could even turn that right thigh in a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. Yep, same thing. Keep rooting down, keep rising up. Then if you want, you can walk the hands out in front. Keeping the sit bones rooted, just hinge at the hip crease a little bit. But don't lose the sit bones because that's going to be easy to do. Keep hinging here at your hip crease, not at your belly. This would be me hinging at my belly. See my upper back round? This isn't like, there's no style here, right? This is our misalignment of life.
You want to be this way. Now when I fold, my chest goes first instead of my chin. Yep. You should feel it all back here. In this pose, both sides of the hips. Couple more breaths. Stay active from the feet through the legs, right through the core. And then if you're in the fold, inhale, come up, unwind the legs, or break dance side two, whatever your flavor is. And then we're going to swap. So you're going to take left over right. This is my tight spot in my hips. So what wants to happen is my knees want to pull apart. So if your knees are pulling apart, it's because the back of your hip's a little bit tight. So what you want to do is make sure you get the front of the thigh all the way up against the back of the leg before you sit back. Then take the feet apart and then sit back and keep hugging in towards that center. And it'll, see, look, they pull a little bit, but I'm able to hold on to as much as possible. Then reach down to the right side, back and out, the bottom side first, then the top. Active from your feet like you're pushing on a gas pedal. That's called a floint, right? Like a flex point. You want like both. And then as you root down, start sitting up nice and tall. And then hinge at the hip crease. Yep. Remember, chest leads the parade, not the chin. The chin's going to want to go first. Don't let it. Nice, y'all. That's it. Move slow. Awesome. Notice how the pose keeps opening up, right? Little by little. If you force it, your body's just going to grip up, right? It's going to be like, no, too much. Here, you're letting your body settle. And as it settles, just let's keep playing. A couple more breaths. And then inhale, come up, unwind the legs. Back to all fours, and just like before, go left leg first this time. And just reach back, opening up the knee and the hip, and then lower it down, swap, whatever your side two is. Yep. Lower it down. All right, from all fours, take a couple breaths. You got two options here. You can go spinal balance, okay? Or you can come up to your plank and you can work your plank balance. Okay? Wherever you want to go. When you're ready, step back to plank. From all fours, everybody, right arm up, left leg back. Exhale, lower. Left arm up, right leg back. Exhale, lower. Keep it going. Let's do 5 each side. Work with your breath. Got to keep hugging. Forearms into the midline. Shins into the midline. Belly to spine. Shutters are closed. Hear that Ujjayi breath? Right? That's style in your breath right there. That's the Ujjayi. You're letting the air rebound off the back of the throat. Now, here's my last one. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet all fours, hands and knees. Sit back on your heels, Vajrasana. How'd that go? Pretty good? I was working hard myself over here, right? That shit ain't easy. Ujjayi breath. That's where the air rebounds off the back of the throat. I'll try to do it a little loud so you could hear, but it would be like Can you hear that? So it's like you're fogging a mirror, right? That's the idea. And when the air rebounds off the throat, what do you think it does? Go faster or does it slow down? It slows down, right? Which means you're putting more length to the pose and you can work things a little bit, slow your breath down, get more time, right? More time means more time to adjust. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, all fours. Take a couple breaths. Step back to plank.
and downward dog. Right hand to the outside of that left calf, downward dog with a twist. So we're muscling up that upper body a little bit, right? Stay with your breath. Inhale, unwind, place the hand down, push back to downward dog. When you're ready, swap the hand. Keep pushing your right hand down and forward, and it's going to take the weight back to the wall behind you. Keep it in your legs and in your hips. That'll make it a little more accessible. Inhale, unwind. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through. Pigeon. Right knee nice and wide to the right edge of your mat. Left knee in line with your left hip. I got that flointed foot again. That'll help me pull the pinky toe side of the foot back as I push the big toe side of the mound out. So I try to get rid of the sickle. Now hug in. Remember, at any moment, I could take my hands off the floor and all the power's in my legs. Pull the pelvic floor up, pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. You're going to feel like there's this lift. Now maybe go ahead into the fold. If you want to stay in the prep, like up here, stay up in the prep. If you want to go into the fold, go into the fold. If you want to work that little trick I showed y'all last week where you take the hand onto the foot and you push and you hug in. Then you lift your front knee up and you move it back an inch or two and you hug back in again. Then you pick your back knee up and move it back an inch or two. And that's how you take the pose deeper. Nice poses, y'all. Beautiful. The pose wants to dump into the outside of that right hip. Don't let it. Keep pushing weight into your left knee. And keep dragging that front knee back, and it'll help you hold that hip up a little bit more. Now, if you want to work the twist, inhale, come up. Now, this twist goes the other way. All right, normally we twist to the lead leg, we're twisting away from it. So what you want to do is you want to take this right hand, you're going to go all the way across your body, and you're either going to bring your elbow in front of your foot, or you're going to put it into the sole of your foot. Then you're going to push the hands together. But you don't want to sacrifice dumping into that right hip. So keep pulling the knees to the midline. Keep reaching forward through the crown of the head so the spine is tall as you then twist up. Inhale, unwind. Place the hand down. Bend the back knee. Reach back with your right hand. Grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Take your left hand out to the edge of your mat. Yeah, use it like a kickstand now. You're going to turn the bicep forward. You're going to lean back a little bit here. Start to open up the right side of the chest. And then work the back knee, like drag it forward, and then draw the heel towards the sit bone and keep working that quad stretch. And then watch the boing as you release. Inhale, unwind. Place the hands. Take a breath. Lift the hips. Unwind that right leg. Come forward, right knee to left elbow. Back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward, knee to opposite elbow. Back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward, last one. Opposite elbow. Back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Exhale, lower that leg. Take a breath. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, pigeon side 2. You didn't see that second part coming, did you? I didn't either. I didn't either. I came to the mat, I was like, I've been sore because I've been working at the house, man, like crazy. I was like, I need like one of those chill practices. But when I get here with y'all, you just like fuel me up now. I'm like, yeah, let's get it, right? Let's keep going. So take a couple breaths and then work with your pose. So we're pushing out of the big toe mound. We're hugging in, right? If you want to fold, fold. If you want to stay up high, stay up high. But remember, head and throat back. Let the chest lead the parade instead of your chin. You're going to do that little trick, hand to the foot, hugging in, moving that front knee back, then that back knee. Opening up that outside of the hip and down the back of the leg. Icky spot for a lot of us. Actually, we're hitting a couple of those icky spots, right? Because then we hit that quad stretch too. These are tough little spots in the hips to open. Legs and hips. All right, so if you want to work the twist, inhale, come up. Now, if you get your hand in front of your foot, awesome. If it goes to the sole of your foot, same awesome. But get the side body long. See, I always reach out this way because it opens all this up. Now I got the ability to twist into it as compared to this where I'm just going to crunch into the twist. That's not going to get me anywhere. Yeah, open that shit up. Then you can work the space. Now try not to lean too far to the left. Try to take the pose to the right, and that'll keep you from dumping into that left hip. And then push the hands together and use that energy to now work the twist even deeper. It's that force feedback. One more breath. Control it as you unwind. Take a breath. Right? This is where it's getting challenging. Stay with it. Bend the knee. Yep. Reach back with that left hand. Doesn't have to be like muscle energy to be challenging, right? This shit right now is challenging. Then walk your right hand out to the edge of your mat. Use it like that kickstand. Start to work the twist by opening the left side of the chest, and then work the quad stretch by drawing the heel to the sit bone. And the left side of that hip is just lovingly blowing open right now, right? Big peel here. And then watch the boing. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hands. No rush. Lift the hips. Unwind that left leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward. Left knee to right elbow. Back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward. Knee to opposite elbow. Back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Last one with the twist. And then lower the leg. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, big reach. Draw the belly, lengthen the sit bones, maybe curl back. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands in front. Awesome, crew. Grab your mats, find a spot on the wall. We'll go upside down. If you're at home, you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back. Knees bent. Interlace your hands behind your thighs. You reach the heel to the sky, take a bunch of breaths. And then you can swap into side two. If you are at home or in the studio, it's not your day to invert. You're always welcome to go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. I'll talk everyone through downward dog and L pose. If you want to work your headstands or your handstands or your tripods, you certainly can. If you're playing with back bends and you want to work your hollow back, again, we didn't do a lot of back bends today, but we did a couple. So for a lot of you, that's going to be accessible still. Play wherever feels good. So if you're going to stick with me, let's go all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. If you're going to go on your own, whenever you're ready. See you later. So with me, all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. Take a couple breaths. Build up that nice, powerful all fours that we already worked a couple times a day. Right? Low mountain. When you feel comfortable, lift the knees and the hips. Come to a short downward dog. You still feel comfortable, step one foot up the wall, then the other. Nice, y'all. If your knees are bent on the wall, you're in downward dog. If your legs are straight, you're in L pose. It's wherever you want to play. Awesome, crew. Beautiful. Right? Even your inversion, what's yoga asking you? You know, we're using that word style today, but like, it's asking you to have style when ass is overhead. right? You're literally upside down. Can you still hold on to the style? Just like it said, it asked you to do something before that, right? What's the first thing it asked you to hang on to? Your breath, right? Just keep breathing while you're upside down because we tend to hold our breath. Then it says, okay, can you keep the foundation solid? Okay, you can. Can we keep the engagement? Yeah, we keep the engagement, but what's after that? There's the style, right? That's the expression. So how do you express it out? Spread those toes. Yeah, that's it. Soften your face, right? Be in the moment. Whether the moment's easy and you're chuckling along or you're like in it deep. Yeah, be in that moment. About like maybe another 30 seconds or so, a minute. Take your time. Give yourself these last like maybe 10 seconds. If you're about to kick up, go for it. If you're ready to go to back bends, I'll tell you what. We could all do a standing back bend, and then you could take it to wherever you want. Okay, so I teach standing back bends to first back bend ever to those of you that could walk down the wall. It'll be super accessible, okay? So come to standing. So you're going to figure, I'm going to use this isn't a solid wall, okay, so I'm not going to walk down anyway, but because I'm really just going to teach you all the standing back bend, and those of you who want to flare it can take it there. So have your feet off the wall, maybe like 1.5 feet length to start out with. Maybe a foot if you feel a little tighter in the upper back. If you're going to walk down the wall, you're probably going to be out even further, okay? But we're going to talk through what it's like just to do the standing back bend. Now that's style right there. Your back bend, you just change the fans. All right, so feet are parallel. I'm charging the legs. What do you always hear me say about back bends? 90% legs, 10% back bend, right? It's all here. So I fire all this up, all right? I don't go anywhere until these are fired up. Belly in, sit bones down, inhale the arms up. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to curl under my shoulder blades, and I'm going to bring my thumbs to the wall. Boom, I'm there, standing back bend. Now, if this is a little too close, careful as you step forward, and then curl back into it. Or inhale, come up, step your feet forward, and then work again from a little bit further away from the wall. Remember, thighs still have to stay back here. So if this is happening to you, this is thighs forward. This has to happen, thighs back. Yeah. Nice, y'all. And then when you're ready, inhale, come up. Exhale, bend your knees. Take the heel of your hand to the top of your thigh and just sit back. We're using this like a neutral forward fold. Yeah, butt is back. Did that make sense? How'd that go? Pretty good? Come on, let's try again. Push down, rise up. All right, so if you felt good where you were, stay where you are. If you felt like you needed a little more challenge, take another half step forward. Here we go. Feet are parallel. Start to charge them up. Pull it up through the legs. Pull it up through the core. Through the arms. As you inhale, take the arms up overhead. Pull the belly in. Pull the shutters closed.
Now curl back under the shoulder blades and keep going up, so let the back of the heart lift up through the front of the chest as you then curl back. Remember, keep the tops of those thighs back. So internal, not just internal rotation, but we want to, or I'm sorry, not just adduction, internal rotation of the thighs. And then when you're ready, inhale, come up, exhale, hands to the thighs, bend the knees, sit back. Pretty good. Those are awesome, y'all. Push down, rise up, take a big reach. Exhale, hands in front. All right, make your way down to the mat. Spin around to your backs. Take the legs out straight, reach the arms up overhead. Just take a little stretch here to start out with. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Maybe try to root that sacrum down towards the mat. Feel that low back fill in. And hug your right knee to your chest. Reach out of that left heel. Hug your left knee to your chest. Take your right leg out. This time as you swap, right knee to chest, left leg out straight, lower the back of the thigh to the floor. Take your left hand to the pinky toe side of your right foot or your strap. Kick your leg up to the sky. We're in the back of the leg here. Keep the right hip down, just take the leg to the left. We're in TFL and IT band. You want to go even further, go for the twist. Roll to the outside of that left foot. Take the leg out to the side. Breathe up and out of your waist. Spine gets tall. Let that right shoulder root to the mat. You might get a little close on this. It's all right. Some of you have heard me say, there was a time when we held the other person's leg for them. Back when we used to touch in yoga. Yeah, you used to hold the other person's leg. Which, as a person who gets sweaty when they practice, that wasn't always one of my favorite parts, but I mean for the other person, not for me. Bend the knee, inhale, come back to center. Then hug the left knee in, take the right leg out. Lower the leg so that the thigh roots, the back of the thigh. Then take the right hand to the pinky toe side of the left foot. Then kick the leg up to the sky. So some of you are going to be here with the hamstring. Take it to the right just a little bit. Some of you are going to be here with, here's your TFL, here's your IT band. So you're stretching this. If you want to go for the twist, you're going to take that leg towards the right as you roll towards that right hip. You're trying to keep the left shoulder rooted, but let's face it, your leg's heavy. So sometimes it pulls that shoulder up as you roll to the right hip. So just breathe up out of the waist, get the spine tall, and then twist that left shoulder back in the mat. You could even reach your left arm out to the side, and that'll like kind of pull that shoulder to the floor a little bit more for you. Couple more breaths here. Feeling the outside of that leg open up, the twist, and then bend the knee. Inhale, come back to center. Take both legs out straight, reach the arms up overhead. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Hug those knees to the chest, happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Keep the sacrum flat, keep those knees wide so that they're wider than your shoulders. And then start to draw the knees like closer to your ears, and there's that big opener inside of the thighs, back of the hip. Then you can reach one leg out, both legs out. You can rock side to side, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, inhale the knees to center, exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation if you'd like. And here as we lay back, we let the legs stretch out. The feet gently roll open. We let the arms come along the sides. We take the shoulders back as the palm opens to the sky. The head rests back. Maybe we let our eyes close. We allow the tongue to soften from the roof of the mouth. We feel the body getting heavy. It's letting go, submitting. We feel the mind soften. It gets light. It turns back to the breath. We let the heart open as it gets ready to move the practice to the yoga of life. You know, today we move through our practice and we use that word style, but what it really meant was being conscious to what your movements are. Making those movements that you work really hard for appear to be easy. We all know they're not. But that's part of the style. How can you stay smooth? How can you look chill? Even when things are really intense. This doesn't just serve us on the mat, it serves us in the yoga of life. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Feeling the breath wash over the body. Toes, fingers, crown of the head, through your heart. We reawaken that better version of ourselves. The connection grows, the fingers and the toes wiggle. It continues, the arms and the legs stretch. Or reach, or move in a way that feels good to you. Taking your time, moving slowly, staying with the breath. Knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Feel your hands push down. You come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. Maybe thinking of that idea of the petals of the lotus closing, the thumbs and the pinkies, the pointer and the ring, and the middle fingers. One more time to seal in our practice, our time together. The sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work and that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Good to see everyone. You know, if you have any questions or anything, get me before you go. Something feels weird, definitely get me before you go. Maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. Thanks, home crew. Thanks, y'all.